We need to establish discipline, especially when we are trying to set ourselves up and position ourselves up for the long game of improvement. Hey, how you doing? I'm Wilson, and as you know, everything in this channel is dedicated to you to get into the flow state. Okay, what we're going to speak about is discipline and motivation. Now you think, discipline? I mean flow. I mean, when I want to be in flow, man, everybody talks about just flowing about. Sorry, that's bullshit. Flow has focus, okay? None of this prancing about. You have to have clear focus, concentration, and in that clarity and focus of the goal that you're going to accomplish, flow will be married to you. Okay, so keep that in mind. Discipline. Now, we need to establish discipline, especially when we are trying to set ourselves up and position ourselves up for the long game of improvement. So if we're trying to improve a skill, if we're trying to improve our ability in a certain sport, a profession, whatever it is, doesn't happen overnight. I'm sorry to be the burden of bad news, but if you think you're going to take a magic pill and all of a sudden you're going to be kicking ass, then you're on cloud cuckoo land, as they say. So forget about all that. Position yourself to be set up for the long game. Okay, now with positioning yourself for the long game, you need to have discipline and a clear strategy in how to do that. So a clear plan that you can action is what you want to do. Now, to be able to strategize and plan out what you want to do, I think I've discussed in another video, and I'll maybe discuss more in another future video. But right now, what you want to be doing is structuring your day clearly, so it takes you towards that goal that you're wanting to achieve. I strongly recommend that you position yourself with clear goals and tasks to accomplish on a daily basis, but you start the most important one at the beginning of the day. I also recommend that you get as close to when the sun comes up as you can, because when you do this, you are minimizing distractions and you're minimizing the disruptions in the flow of the external day. People asking you to do things might potentially pull you out of your focus and concentration. So if you try and get yourself to do the most important tasks in the beginning of the day, this will set you free. Now, the reason I want you to do it so early as well, close to the sun, is simultaneously you're going to be tuning yourself into the circadian rhythm. Your machinery responds to light. Natural light will help your endocrine system, your nervous system. So tuning yourself into that will help you be sharp on the long run. Okay, so the more consistent you do that, the more disciplined you're doing that. Now, if you wake up in the morning and you feel like, oh, I don't want to do it, then tough shit. Because if you want to have success in what you want to do, you need to encourage yourself to be disciplined. So having that clear goal, having that clear task to accomplish in the morning has to be done. Now, I'm not so much of a cold-hearted bastard. You've got to do that one important task. However, you have a few options of what you do for that task. So let's say maybe it is something creative. Maybe it's something like you're writing, okay? So you're either going to immediately sit down and start writing on the computer. Let's say that's a more challenging task for you. Or what you can do is you can get a whiteboard and maybe enhance the storyboard, or maybe map out a few thoughts that are coming to mind relative to the book, relative to the project. This way you can use that tool to warm yourself up, but you're still having the discipline to taking the step forward to the direction that you're wanting to be able to achieve. Okay? So having a clear plan, having a clear strategy, doing it first thing in the morning, allowing yourself to tune into the circadian rhythm, All those tips will begin to make discipline easier for yourself. Okay? Now, accompanying this, motivation. A lot of people always use this motivation. I don't have the motivation to be able to do this. I don't have the motivation to do that. You need to allow yourself to really focus on improving your discipline. Every professional athlete, entrepreneur that I've worked with some very talented men and women, CEOs that run major companies. And a lot of the time they don't want to get up, but it's the discipline that gets them up and gets them motivated through the discipline. Motivation will kick in when your discipline is massaged and worked on a consistent basis. Now, we have a little bit of wisdom inside what I teach on a regular basis, which is my Mavericks group. Is we also use heart rate variability to allow us to have wise discipline. Okay? So heart rate variability is a way of measuring how well your nervous system has recovered from the stresses of the day, weeks, and so on. So what you do is you track your heart rate variability, give you this information. Now the cool thing is that heart rate variability and motivation are best of friends. When your heart rate variability is constantly worked on a consistent basis, as in constantly looked to be improved or sustained or improved or sustained, your motivation will be raised up. So by having a clear path, clear strategy to implement, you use your discipline, you've got your motivation, and this is through the awareness of your heart rate variability. Now, to improve your heart rate variability, I have some information of that in another video, but one of the things you're automatically doing when I was speaking to you before is attuning yourself to the circadian rhythm. So when you tune yourself to the circadian rhythm on a consistent basis, not once, but on a consistent basis, you're going to be taking a very productive step towards improving your heart rate variability. Now, that discipline of getting up in the morning and working on a clear project, the most important project for you in the morning, will help with that. But structuring your day in a way where you're working in clear blocks of time, ideally blocks of 90. When you work in blocks of 90, giving yourself rest in between, you're going to be tuning yourself into your nervous system's natural highs and lows throughout the day. Highs and recharges throughout the day. Therefore, you're working on your heart rate variability, you're working on your motivation, and discipline becomes a little bit easier. So, you need to make sure that, yes, sometimes you do just need a good kick up the ass, but there is a bit of wisdom that you can add into that to give motivation, to help a little bit push it forwards. But that comes through working with your heart rate variability. Your heart rate variability, when it's constantly worked on a consistent long game strategy where you feed yourself correctly, where you sleep correctly, where you work correctly, where you socialize correctly, where you do other things correctly, you're going to improve your heart rate variability, which will make motivation a bit more consistent, but will make the discipline easier. Okay? Now, one other thing that I want to add in there to really make everything concrete. So when you set yourself up with everything that I've just discussed and you want to make it concrete, you want to add in something, especially in the early days, to really help with that. And I got this tip through a TED Talk with Amy Cuddy, and similar experience by reading Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. Both of those people were talking about the power pose, or the celebration, if you like. So the celebration is, as it sounds, whenever you accomplish something through your discipline, motivation, whatever it may be, if you position yourself as if you have just won the world championships of something, you celebrate, you give it a hell yeah kind of vibe, right? So let's say I've done that most important task, or in fact, I've got up early to greet the sun, to tune into the circadian rhythm. Yes. I have then completed that task. Oh yes. I've then got to the end of the day being disciplined, motivated, being attuned to my nervous system, and I tick off all the things in my to-do list? Yes. This is where you will slowly get more disciplined. You will slowly improve your motivation, and you will slowly improve your heart rate variability. And by doing those, getting all those worked and massaged, it's like turning dials. You're going to be tuning yourself in to performing your life in flow. Okay? Now, I know that video was helpful. It's got to be helpful. If it was helpful, please leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. If you have anything you want to discuss with me, leave a comment. And if you want anything customized to your specific requirements, look at the description box. We have some information there that you can maybe pursue. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see you in another video. All right, ciao for now.